Incorrect, right? Eat 50 grams of protein per day, you're not gonna go anywhere. So people undereat their protein and overeat their carbs. How to get jacked quickly, as quick as possible. This video is for the guys who want that golden summer body, right? That golden ratio. This is for you. Okay, how to get jacked quickly. Now, people will tell you that it is going to take a long time, that you have to be patient. All that is true, but there are certain key factors and knowledge that you can know to speed run this process. So without further ado, we're just gonna get straight into it, okay? Number one, eat protein with every single meal. Eat protein with every single meal. There is not a meal that I go without protein. Now, you probably already know about protein. You probably already know that. But there's things on top of it that people don't know. The one thing is, most importantly, it keeps you satiated. So when you eat protein instead of a carb with your meal, the protein is going to keep you satiated for a longer amount of time, which means that you can go in between meals without eating, right? So try to eat just a plain chicken breast. A plain chicken breast, you're probably not gonna wanna eat for like 2-3 hours. Now, if you just eat a pizza or a donut or something like that, you are going to eat within the next hour because the protein keeps you satiated for longer. Not only that, but it keeps you in that muscle building process, that muscle building synthesis. So when our muscles, right, this is the muscle. When you're training consistently, your muscles are going to be damaged. Gonna be damaged. Basically, what the protein is going to do is going to heal your muscles quicker. Not only heals your muscles, but it's good for hair, it's good for nails, all that stuff. People usually undereat their protein. I even think that the health department says that you should only eat like 50 grams of protein per meal. Or not per meal. You should only eat 50 grams of protein per day. Incorrect, right? Eat 50 grams of protein per day, you're not gonna go anywhere. So people undereat their protein and overeat their carbohydrates. Now we're gonna get to carbs, what you should do with carbs, but the main point here is to eat protein with every single meal. Most likely, you're not gonna count your macros. That takes a hell of a lot of discipline, and most people don't do it, don't wanna do it. I don't blame you, okay? I mean, I do sometimes, I used to a lot. Now I can kind of do it in my head, but most people, they're not gonna wanna do that. That's fine. What you can do though is count your protein, or at the very least, eat protein with every single meal. Now, why would we even need protein? Well, going back to this, our muscles are going to get damaged because of number 2, to train hard. Next point is we wanna train hard. Now, I made a Venn diagram last video where I said that most people do not go past the wall. Now, when you go into the gym, sometimes I observe people, probably like 6 years into the gym, right? I've observed people, most people, they do not train hard. They do not train with intensity. So figuratively, right, there's a wall. And if you want to grow, you must break past that wall. The wall is a symbolism of your comfort level, right? So if you just do reps on leg press, you're not gonna grow your legs, right? That's why we do 8 reps, right? That's why we do 10 reps. That's why we do a higher repetition, so we can break past that wall. Now, the wall could be on rep 8. The wall could be on rep 10. But the whole point is you want to go past that. And you want to kind of do that with every single set. Every single set, you should attempt to go past that wall. How do you know you're going past that wall? Well, one, you get nervous. Two, you feel like you can't do it. That's a very big point too. You feel like you're not able to do more, and then you do more, which is a sign of growth. So you feel like you're not able to do more, but then you do more. That is you going past that wall. One of the biggest things is how many times do you train per week? If you train 3 days in a week, I guarantee you probably, no, what am I saying? If you train every day, there's a high chance that you're not training with intensity. People who train every single day, unless it's like some days they're doing cardio, not every day it's like a bodybuilding session or a strength training session, unless like some days they do cardio, right? But if they train every single day, high likelihood they're not training with intensity. You're not breaking past that wall. Everybody is going to have an ego and they're going to say, I break past that wall, yada, yada, yada. I would say, dude, my first 2 years into lifting, I didn't break past that wall. But it's like an addiction, right? Once you figure out how to do so, how to break past that wall, then you get addicted to it and you want to keep doing it. But that's the biggest thing. Train with intensity. So when you have the protein, and these stack, right? These are habits that stack. So once you have the protein figured out, you're getting your 150 grams to 200 grams a day. And then on top of that, you're training with intensity. And then on top of that, the last one, which is rest. Last one is resting, right? There was a time where I was just in a bodybuilding phase, and I slept for 8, 9, 10 hours. 8, 9, 10 hours, right? Having that rest when you are in a bodybuilding phase, when you are in just a pure muscle, I'm not even in a pure muscle building phase now. I'm in more of a running phase. I'm kind of trying to run a ultra marathon. It's like 30 miles. So I'm lifting, but I'm not lifting like crazy. But when I was, right, having that rest was so key, because we're only gonna lift, guys, 3 times per week. Yes, that's all you need. If you're really addicted, like I am, like I was, 4 times. Okay, 4 times. I'll give you the 4. But we're not gonna do 5. We're not gonna do 6. Definitely not gonna do 7. 4 times per week. And if you're training intense enough, that's all you need. But that rest in between those days are so key. They're so pungent. Like, they're so important. And I'm talking about 8 hours. 8 hours for sure. But if you can get 9 hours, if you can even get 10 hours, and I know it sounds so disgusting, like sleeping for 10 hours, like that shit sounds like ass, sounds like you're not on your grind, it sounds horrible. But if you can get that 10 hours, some days, get that in. Because the recovery is literally the most important thing. It's the most important thing. That's when you're actually building the muscle. See, what's funny is that when you're in the gym, you're tearing the muscle. You're ripping the muscle. Okay, you're actually damaging the muscle when you're in the gym. But when you're out of the gym, when you're sleeping, when you're resting, that's when your muscle is actually building. And like how I said, all of these stack. So when you have the right protein to fuel that rest and recovery, then you can go back to the gym and train intensely. And then a side point for these last few is carbs. So carb loading. If you want to train with intensity, you have to carb load. It's not even a question. You have to carb load. That could mean eating like just normal rice cakes. I like bananas a lot, oats, and Sometimes I even eat candy, to be honest. Just because that sugar, that glycogen, all that is just going to go straight into the muscle. You're not gonna gain that much weight from it. You know, if you have shit ton of carbs and you do nothing all day, then yeah, you're gonna gain weight. But if you have a shit ton of carbs, you hit a hard ass workout, all those carbs are going into the workout and the pump is insane, right? And then another thing, we eat protein every meal. We want to also maximize our testosterone. So that means having things with cholesterol in it, having things like beef, having things like eggs. And then if you get bored of those, having chicken. I've had a lot of chicken. I'm trying to go a little bit of a low fat phase now. But when I was doing bodybuilding, I was not afraid of fat at all. You can't be afraid of fat because fat produces testosterone. So cholesterol directly produces testosterone. I wish I had the formula right on top of my head. I ain't that smart, okay? I don't know that much, but I think it's like 0.6 of cholesterol is equal to like 1 gram testosterone. So cholesterol is directly linked to testosterone. That's something they do not tell you in school. I don't know why. They want you to be eating bread pellets and cereal and all this other bullshit. But so don't be afraid of fats. Don't be afraid of fats. Fats are producing testosterone. It's like you're a Viking. Think of it like that. You're a Viking. When you saw Vikings, were they like super skinny, weenie motherfuckers? No, they were jacked. Okay, they were jacked. They had a little bit of a belly. So don't be afraid of the fat. If you want to get lean, that's different from being jacked. You can be jacked or you can be lean. You can't be both at the same time. You can have sort of a middle ground of both, but you can't. That's a whole nother topic in of itself. Past the wall, working out every 2 days. Oh, last point, minor point, but this could be a hack for some of you: melatonin. So when we talk about rest, right? Sometimes you cannot sleep. I know that very well because I am I'm narcoleptic, so I know that super well. So what you can do though is melatonin. Now there is an overhype about melatonin, about the negative drawbacks, but it's completely fine, guys. Just get a high quality one. Don't get a shitty one. I've tried the shitty ones. They suck, right? Get a high quality melatonin pill. That is going to help you rest and sleep deeper. If you have a sleep tracker, definitely use that. That is going to help you sleep deeper. Optimizing sleep real quick. Blackout curtains, everything black, no phone at all. Just having like a little bit of audio to kind of ease your mind, drift your mind off something else. And because sometimes you have those thoughts and they can keep you awake, right? So just a little bit of an audio, blacked out curtains, melatonin, going to sleep within the single digits rather than the double digits. So going to sleep at like 9 rather than like 10, 11, 12. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes I can't help it, but just some other things to maximize recovery. Because when you maximize recovery, you will get jacked 20 times quicker. Last point, probably the most important point, not going to lie. Definitely is. All right, though, that's it for today's video. Really hope you guys like these videos. Really hope you guys like the white boy videos, and more coming soon. If you want any help, any helpful tips, any like one-on-one help, I do have a mentorship program that you can join in the description below. Peace out, though. I'm going.